is a different, very different context into me sharing videos, right? I just came back from church, from mass. It's technically Sunday, and I'm technically, sorry, I'm technically starting some crepes. This is like a routine that we have here on Sundays right after church to eat something sweet. Doesn't have to be crepes every single Sunday, but it's my specialty, the crepes. And I always look forward to eating a good some after having receiving the body of Christ and just feeling so pumped up and motivated, and just everything connects when you get out of the mass and just feel lighter and just with a lot of joy. And today we're gonna share something about heart, right? What is it that is in your heart? Something that is pretty much good with, let's say, today's way of processing the thoughts. We always gonna focus on the feelings, right? It's all about my feelings, and I kind of shared a bit about it in the fact that we have that default mode of getting back to how I feel to do things. Any action that you're gonna do, and you're gonna hear a lot of that. I feel like watching movies now, it's all about like how I feel, and what I feel is supposedly to be the things that gonna guide me through whatever I'm gonna be deciding afterwards. Because feelings do matter, right? They matter a lot, actually. The thing is that as a Christian, you already have it, in the sense that whatever you do, whatever action that you do, whether it's helping people that you care about, going to work, doing things that you're supposed to be doing in your everyday life, you have to check what's in your heart all the time. And today was my last session before me getting confirmed with my mentor, and a lot of things again blew up in my mind because it just made so much sense. And we were talking about being able to be a good disciple of Christ, into the fact that you being confirmed actually is the moment where you are being the Christian adult. So whatever you do, it becomes a priority for you to share the good news about Jesus, right? Where you sharing the message into whatever you do. Whatever you decide to do, your business, your way of doing things, you gotta be that example. And that starts with the prayer. And the prayer is the request to kind of do whatever you need to do to glorify God, to glorify Jesus. It's that relationship that you're building. And you can't give something that you don't have. It makes sense like that, a lot of sense when we think about it. But for me, it didn't necessarily make sense all the time in my life previously. Because I used to be the person watching people online having successful businesses, and I think we kind of are a bit like that, all of us, where you see somebody being successful, doing great things, and having that passion, desire, fire into whatever they do. And because you see the physical part of them being out there and sharing whatever they need to share, and feeling the drive, you feeling like the end goal would be for you to do something to achieve that. In the sense that whatever you need to do is always to ask to God. Coming down to asking, coming down to realizing that you're not the one in the power, you are becoming that instrument for God, to reach out, to share the good news, to be a good disciple. But I think in the modern society of doing things, I guess, we always go back to what we can do with our own power. And that's the default mode that you're gonna see a lot of business people doing, a lot of people with a lot of influence doing, where when they start being successful and doing great things, it's always gonna be for them to rely on to what they did to accomplish that. When you go to school to become a lawyer, you're gonna study a lot. You're gonna read a lot of books. You're gonna develop that experience of becoming a lawyer. When you do become a disciple of Christ, you do read a lot of things, definitely, because you need to deepen that knowledge. But at the same time, there's the invisible part that we just are not part of. We don't see that, or at least most of us. If you do have gifts, that's something else. And by the way, that's my first crep, and it's always the first that I kind of mess up a lot and at home. But when you get to be the disciple here, you want to be like Christ. And how do you become like Christ? Reading the Bible, doing the prayers, being an example out there, right? Because people are drawn to you because of whatever you're going to show to them as being a good model, right? You don't trust people you don't know, and you don't trust people that don't have those good examples out there. And that's where it becomes very tricky when you see the end goal and the result of somebody doing things, achieving things, and you forget that there's the work behind it, but there's not just the work, there's the relationship that you're building with God. And as a Christian, as somebody that looks to deepen the faith, as a Catholic, you have to have that priority first. And I think for me, the default mode that I used to have was always to think about what I could do, right? What I could do on my own to be able to have that kind of result that I saw a lot of people having. Because like I said, there's a lot of Christians out there that I see, admire a lot in the tone. Like I said, Pine Street Aquinas is like one of my favorite person to even understand what it is to be a Christian, what it is to be really all about Christ. Lila Rose is one of my best feminine models to be able to be a woman with a business or working on building a business, but being so devoted to God and God only first, that your mission becomes God's mission. Or I would say God's mission is becoming your mission, because this is something that is giving you, right? And for you to have that clarity, you need to rely on Him. You need to solidify that relationship, because you're becoming that instrument. And when you get to that mental shift or understanding that it's not you, it's not your power, you are the instrument, you're starting to see the world a different total way. And for example, for me, when we got to the election and Trump becoming the president, I did a couple of videos around it. I wanted to do more, but I didn't. But for me, the point was just to say that Trump is a means to an end, right? He's not the person that's going to be changing everything, because God is the only person to be able to do that. And the way where we're going in terms of the society, United States, North America, and any other country, any other continent, I would say, it's always about you becoming the instrument and you being like the person that would represent God, right? You don't have that power. And to understand more of what you have to do and what is your mission is to go back at it. And my mentor made it so simple for me today, because I was always questioning the fact that, yes, I'm a coach, working towards it. I want to help people. Like I said a couple of videos before, I have a hard time being able to integrate everything. I love graphic design, I love videos, I love editing, I love speaking, as you can see. I love being on videos, not for the sake of just showing my face, but for the sake of just saying things that can help people out there. I love being able to touch a lot of things, right? Not doing just one thing. And I really had a hard time to be able to integrate, and feeling like that I always have to choose something. Always have to choose one thing and one thing only. And when you're multi-passionate like me, it becomes like something that is so challenging to be able to pick one thing. So, and something that he shared with me today was the fact that when you are becoming the instrument and you accept that, you see that, you understand it, everything just makes more sense. And the fact that whatever comes to you, whoever comes to you, it's not in your control to do that. It's in your control to ask for it. If you don't know your mission, you ask. If you want to help somebody, you want to guide people through their own challenges, spiritually, mentally, physically, the first start, the very first step is for you to pray for them. That's a very first step. And then you get to the second step where it is for you to understand that there are sacrifices to be made, right? So it would be for you to, let's say, oops, my bad. I'm like, no. Okay, I did not mess that correct. The first step would be to pray. The second step for you would be to get to just the mortification in a way, and we can do it through fasting, through offering those sacrifices always up to God, into understanding what it is to be able to sacrifice yourself for the sake of the world, for the sake of the person that you're looking to help. A couple of things that you can do on your own that shows that level of love, and for you to just say yes to it, understand more of it, and to get to the last step, which is to take action. And to take action would be for you to talk to the person, helping the person, guiding the person through the thoughts issue. Let's say if you're a coach, if you're a psychologist, and if you're working on in that area, if you're doing something more physical, would be for you to start guiding that person through the end goal. But the most important thing is to understand what it is that is in your heart. Because when you start building the business and you start having that clarity, there's that risk, and all the time is to fall in love with the money, the success, and people loving you because you're representing something. And for you to forget your place in a way, where your place is not to be glorified, your place is to glorify the Lord. And whatever people see in you is them to see the love of Jesus, the love of the Lord, and guiding through that with them, right? Helping them to get there, to get to that level of love and relationship with the Lord in whatever you do, whatever you do. So it doesn't mean that you need to talk about Jesus all the time in your videos, or being here and feeling the need of always having to do the Jesus saves you and he's the one and only, which is true, but to show through your example as well, right, that you are what you say you are, right? And people can see you not doing anything, talking about Jesus all day long, and seeing your life not changing, and just your choices not necessarily changing because you have that great relationship with the Lord, right? So the point is really coming down to understanding what is it that is your intention out there. To understand your mission, you need to understand the point where it's not you the instrument, right? You not to be glorified. The Lord is to be glorified. And you are somebody that is that mediator, that bridge, I would say. And when you start to understand that shift, you understand more of that mission, and that mission is always going to come down to it. Whatever you do in your life, right? It doesn't have to be everybody has to be a coach, right? It could be in your daily little life, right? My mentor was talking about him being married and he has grandsons right now. And it would be an example as simple as just as a spouse. Let's say your wife asks you to come and pick her up, let's say at her office because she didn't have her car broke down, right? Or she can't for any type of reason and she's really stuck. Your role as a spouse is to be able to help her and vice versa, right? All those little things is still all the graces that you're going to receive through doing that, right? And so they define your relationship with the Lord through doing that. So it doesn't mean that you need to talk about the Lord all the time here online, but it means that in your heart, in your discipline, in your intention, they have to be pure. They have to remain pure. And what I love about, let's say, the modern way of thinking things is that we love to pick a lot of things from Christianity in general. Intentionality is always been a part of Christianity. So when you hear somebody talk about the intentions, talk about the heart, talk about the feelings, there's a way that Christianity brought that up as well. You can find all of that in the Bible. When we talk about fasting, when we talk about contemplating, which is a form of meditation, right? And you hear a lot of people doing the meditation and stuff. just like it's the same thing, because this is something that is required of you to be a better Christian, to get to the sanctity part of it. You are to do a lot of things like that, right? So there's nothing new under the sun at this point, and you don't need to leave Christianity altogether to find all the richness of anything else, because all that richness is already there. You honestly don't have to look elsewhere. You just have to be disciplined enough to deepen that knowledge, and that goes through making the effort of doing that. The Lord is not going to force you, but He's going to invite you, and it's up to you to say yes or no, and it's not going to force you more into that, right? So that's something I wanted to share today. I hope it makes sense. I really hope it makes sense. But I feel like I have a lot more thoughts. But for today, I think I would stop there, because I would spend legit an hour or more to talk about anything. So we're gonna try to make it a little bit more concise. And for the next time, I'm gonna be there again. It's probably gonna be different. It's gonna be in the usual way of doing things. I have no makeup up today, so maybe I look a little bit dead, or maybe not. I don't know. But I had that feeling, urge of just sharing that. So I hope you like it. I'm gonna wish you a very great day, a very great Monday, because most likely you're watching it on Monday, and I'm doing it on Sunday right after Mass. So yes. And I'm gonna finish my crepes. I hope you're enjoying your day out there. Everybody is dying for my crepes. That's crazy. Like, these the things that I used to love when I came here was a lot of sweet things. When I arrived in Canada, there was a lot of sweet things that I would miss. The crepes was definitely one, and I know we can have the debate about the waffle versus the crepes. I would say the crepes are the best, or waffle or pancake versus the crepes. I can help you guys. I can love you with all of my heart, but you can't pick the pancake over the crepes. With all of the love that I can give to people, you just can't do that. It's disrespectful. It's like crepes are the creme of the creme. It's the dream. It's the perfect balance, the perfect thickness. It's thin enough. You can eat it as much as you want. The pancake, you eat one or two and you're done. And there's so much more that I can share about my love for crepes. Clearly, I'm being biased here, but please, in the comments, just try to just pick the best, right? If you like pancake, I'm still gonna love you the same way. That's fine. I have to respect that. But if you do like crepes, we're gonna be best friends. I can tell you that. And I can make those crepes all day you want. I don't mind. But that's a bit of a tradition here. Like for me to do all the crepes, most of the time the crepes. But I grew up with it. Like my aunt used to do a lot of crepes for us. She would bring it at home. I used to eat so much of it. So it's the thing that I master the most and that I can do with my eyes closed, because I just did them all the time. I feel like the pancake, maybe I'm being a bit biased here, because I didn't eat a lot of pancakes growing up. It was definitely more crepes. When I had the pancakes here, I'm sorry, don't kill me, just don't, please. It was hard. You gotta pick the crepes. I'm sorry, you gotta pick the crepes. I can't say anything else. You have to. So I'm gonna finish that. We're gonna eat it right after. And I'm gonna wish you a great day. I'm gonna see you the next day. And like I say all the time, keep smiling, because it's free and contagious in a good way. Bye.